He had 37 points in the first game, 32 in the second, 31 in this one.
How many assists?
He puts
You need more on the rest of the columns.
he's had What's going on, Morning Fanatics? I'm Albert Torres, and you're watching another episode of the Morning Fanatic podcast. Today, I've got Carlos Gonzalez. We're doing a duo today. Unfortunately, we are missing our number 3 guy, Joey. But Carlos, before we start on this, let him know what to do.
Click, like, subscribe, follow us. Quit sharing memes. Share our shit. Show us some love. Fuck that random person that just shares the same meme that's been recopied for the last 3 months. Show us some love. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Carlos, I know that this weekend you had a great season home opener for the Dallas Mavericks. How did that go, man? Let us know.
Pretty good. I was expecting Ja to turn it on, and I saw the lead grow in the first half. And I mean, we had a good lead in our first game, and it soured versus Phoenix. And I was afraid that something similar would occur again. Ja has just dropped 49, so he's not rusty at all. My man's ready to go, and he was putting on a show. He got up there a few times, but we were timing him very well, and he was forced to kick out. I think he had one good dunk, but I don't think he got dunked on anybody.
Yeah.
But it was a good game, even though it was mostly a blowout. A lot of fun, a lot of energy in the building.
Yeah, I did see that, and I know you've been anytime Luca or somebody or you in our fantasy football league that you're doing good, you put that Grinch gif.
That's my new favorite GIF when things are just going great for my teams or my guys. And at the halftime, I knew that the Mavs were pretty much going to pull away. And at the end of 3, we had 99 points, so I just didn't think they were going to be able to come back from that. But for a moment, I thought Luka might go for 50, but I was like, no way, Jason Kidd's going to leave him in there. And sure enough, he saw very little in the fourth quarter, if not any. I don't know if I saw him in the fourth quarter.
I didn't realize that Luca was going off, man, in the first quarter. I was too busy talking shit to Chicago when the Cavs and Bulls were playing. We were texting with each other, and I get an alert. You gotta keep your friends close but enemies closer. So I have those alerts for the Mavs, and then I see Luka 21 in the first. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, no way. Let me go check it out. And I started
he was spreading the ball very well. Had the Grizzlies scrambling. I felt like it wasn't as physical a game as I thought it was gonna be, but I think it stopped getting physical once it was a blowout. We won that shit by 41, man. So that's as much of a blowout as you're gonna get. This is a home opener. I got lucky. I caught a T-shirt and I caught like a stress ball.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, I'll post them. I'll share it to you guys later. But yeah, it was cool. Had a good time with my girlfriend. Shout out to Sam for getting us the tickets. Our friend Samantha, she works at Monarch and she has good hookups with everyone at the Mavs when they go out there for dinner. And it's funny, dude. I met this lady who works for the Mavs, been working for the Mavs for like 20 plus years, and she's also from Laredo. And she had her championship ring, and I was geeking out over it. I was like, I have a fake one.
Oh, from 2011. Yeah,
she had her championship ring. Yeah, you know which one.
Well, man, I'm glad you had fun. I'm sure that first quarter was just wild, crazy, couldn't miss.
Yeah, they were on fire.
Well, let's get started. Let's get started with the show, man. Let's go from a great season opener to a bad one. It was Dame time at the Crypto.com arena. Lillard was tapping his wrist after he drained his 6th three-pointer to take the lead with 12 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Los Angeles Lakers were up by 7 in the final 2 minutes versus the Blazers and still managed to fall to 0-3 to start the season. I don't even know where to start, Carlos. So many questions here. Who to blame? What's wrong with the Lakers? What should they do moving forward? Just pick any of the above, Carlos, or add to it.
Man, it's so easy to go after Westbrook, but his numbers don't even help you. 4 for 15. I saw the broadcaster, or I saw a clip of of Russell Westbrook taking like a fourth quarter shot. There was like a minute and something left. There was 18 seconds on the shot clock, and he just pulls up for a pull up. And like it wasn't a terrible pull up, but there was like no offense run. He literally dribbled the ball up mid went up for a mid range. Like no offense was run. There was still 18 seconds on the shot clock. Like with 7 minutes up, like just bad decision making. I would understand if you're on fire. Sure, go for it. Heat check. Nobody questions those. Why? Because you've made 6. But you're 4 for 15, so which leads me to believe you hadn't made any the entirety of the game. 26 fucking percent. Yikes. I saw another stat. The Lakers have gone like 25 for 118 from 3-point land. That's not gonna cut it, boys.
I know, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to like. That's why I wrote all these questions down. I'm like, where the fuck do we go from here? Like, there's so much wrong. Who to blame? I know Joey is out today, so Joey, I would have wished you were here. Probably still taking a nap, maybe even going to work right now or got OT. But we really wanted to talk about this, and
that roster's not enough.
Sure, that roster is not enough, but check this out. Look, the Lakers right now, they're 30th in offensive rating, 30th in field goal percentage, 30th in 3-point percentage. So that's no surprise, because obviously they're not a shooting team, just like LeBron said. But I feel that Joey would have put the blame on LeBron, that all of this is his fault. And I don't believe so. Joey, I'm just going to go with that interpretation that you're blaming LeBron for this. And is it LeBron's fault that he's out-rebounding Anthony Davis in the first 3 games? 33 rebounds to 24. The man is 37 going on 38 in his 20th season. Look at AD's rebound numbers. First game, 6 rebounds. Second game, 8 rebounds. This last game, third game, 10 rebounds. For a man that's fucking 7 foot or 6'11", I don't care. He is like 10 years younger than LeBron. And LeBron, look, on the first game, 15 rebounds from LeBron. 10 rebounds from LeBron and 8 on this one. So is that LeBron's fault, Joey? Is that LeBron's fault that AD cannot rebound? And then
music.
And then Westbrook's last 2 games, I'm glad you mentioned that too, Carlos. In the fourth quarter, 0 points, 0 for 4, 0 for 2 from 3, a -10 for his plus minus.
Did you see that meme where they ask him how you think you played, and he was like 0 for 12, and he's like, I played solid.
Solid. Well, you know what, Carlos? He's defensively
delusional. That's what the fuck he is. Delusional.
Defensively, he's playing good. That's not an issue. It's his offensive woes that, like Joey's saying, that it's LeBron's fault. It's LeBron's fault that Westbrook is putting up bricks.
Westbrook is even missing layups now, bro. I'm seeing layups.
I saw that. Did you see the first game where he like just easy layup at the bucket, at the cup, man, and like point blank?
I don't have excuses for him anymore, because I'm not gonna be like, well, he's trying to shoot from far. No, mid range, that used to be his bread and butter. It looks like that's what you want him to do now. Please pull up. I dare you to pull up. And if you blow by me, I know you're not dunking it. And the layup, you're not a finisher because you don't have the touch. Shooters have the touch. That's why Curry can flick it all sorts of ways and make a layup. That's why Lillard can come up with all sorts of underneath, up and unders, but any side of the basket, both hands. Westbrook isn't even finishing on traditional layup at this point. Like,
yeah, he has. Well, I mean, after all these years in the league, Carlos, name me, or can you name Westbrook's like go-to move? What's his go-to? Like, you know how
full
All-Stars?
Full speed go at you and then just pull up J.
You know, Luka has that step back. Tatum has that sidestep. Kyrie también. Like, all these stars have these signature moves, and after
Westbrook
so many
was
years,
just full speed, and that's no longer as effective, and you're not gonna get faster as you get older. So,
and then check this other stat, Carlos. Patrick Beverley in the last 3 games, 12 fouls, 3 made buckets. Is that LeBron's fault, Joey? Is that LeBron's fault? Comment right down below, Joey. I'd love to hear your answer.
Here, Joey, if you may, I'm going to answer for you. Yes, it's because they're not playing the way Westbrook likes to play. So all 12 guys adjust your play of game for this man that's missing layups. Is essentially what I believe you have said a few times, or my interpretation of some of the texts that we've had in our chat. But yeah, no, like I understand that Westbrook isn't adjusting any part of his game now. He's not going to on fucking season 16. But yeah, man, it's almost sad to see. But not as sad as it is in Philly.
Well, I feel like we should have named this episode, or we should name this episode Owen. Because it's the tale of the 0-3s. MVP runner-up Joel Embiid and former MVP James Harden are trying to lead the Philadelphia 76ers to their first championship in 40 years. It's not looking good to start the season. The 76ers are 0-3 with its latest loss to the San Antonio Spurs, 114-105 this Saturday. Carlos, is it time for the 76ers to move on from Doc Rivers?
And honestly, everyone overhypes Doc Rivers, but I don't know why. Like, that Celtics team that he took to the finals and won, it was the first year. I mean, if Kevin Garnett wasn't a defensive player, the defensive type player, like he was, like a all defense defensive player of the year type of player, like if he was just mid-range defense or below average defense, ain't no way those Celtics team wins an NBA championship, bro. So like, for us to sit here and say Coach Doc Rivers is a defensive mind and yada yada yada, he just got KG right when KG had the very last to give, and the Lakers almost snuck that one away from him too, because they can't, like, Doc Rivers doesn't have a resume to look at and go, man, he's dominated. On the contrary, he has all the 0-3 records that you don't want to be involved with. So yes, I would definitely move on from Doc Rivers. I'm not saying he's the problem this year or for these 3, but me personally, I've never been high on it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it is time to move on. And Doc Rivers, man, like, look, you were talking about resumes, Carlos, and let's take a look at his resume. I made some notes here about his resume. In Orlando, he was 5 seasons as a head coach there. He made the playoffs 3 years, no series wins, and he blew that 3-1 lead. I believe that's the year that T-Mac was saying, like, oh man, it feels good to move on to the next round.
He got ahead of himself.
Blah, blah, blah. And they blew that 3-1 lead.
I forgot he coached T-Mac. You're right. Okay.
And when he
had superstars every time. Continue. Fuck.
And with Boston, before the big 3, before the big trade, 2 seasons prior, he won 33 and 24 games.
Not that.
Then he got the big 3, 2008 champs. With the Clippers, he blew 2 3-1 leads, 1 Western Conference appearance. I mean, sure, that's good. That's the only, like, aside from the 2008 championship, that's the only time. But then, you know, he had Kawhi Leonard. He had Paul George. He had a solid Clippers team. And he also had, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, that Lob City.
He had both rounds of the Clippers.
I even forgot about that.
He got 2. He got both. I was wondering. I was like, wait, did he even get Leonard? I'm like, yeah, you're right. He did have Leonard. But yeah, his stint was Paul, Jordan, Griffin, Crawford,
Redick.
Yeah, like JJ Redick.
I feel that was the peak of their Clippers run. And then now with Philadelphia, he's into his 3rd season. In the first
superstars, like, no excuses.
Yeah,
man.
Embiid, Harden. I mean, they even had, I guess, at some point, All-Star Ben Simmons. But in his first season, As a first seed, they lost to the Hawks in the semis, second round, 4-3. Then the next season, they were a fourth seed. They lose to Miami, 4-2. Their last season, their bench was 28th in scoring, and the Spurs this past Saturday outscored them 40-10. So I don't know, man. I feel
10
that
from the bench.
yeah, they outscored them 40-10 from the bench. So not saying that.
For a moment, I thought you meant in the fourth quarter. I was like, holy shit.
No, I'm not saying that this last game or this season is just entirely just on Doc Rivers. Maybe the bench has been a problem too, but I feel that at some point in time, wasn't he, or was this with the Clippers, but wasn't he a GM and a head coach? Was that with the Clippers?
He's been wanting that, and I think he never gets that everywhere he goes. And he had it for like a half a season before Daryl Morey showed up, if I'm not mistaken. Or who did Morey's job? Who did Morey predecess?
I can't remember, man.
Sam Presti's in Oklahoma City.
I know right now it's Elton Brand for the Sixers.
You're right. Elton Brand's been there for a minute.
Elton Brand. So I mean, it could also. I mean, well, he's made trades for Harden, so like. He's trying out there. I just feel that, just like you said, he's overhyped. I think players have lost maybe respect or just are tired of hearing him, man. Like, I just feel that's what it is. Players just get tired.
He and Popovich are like the last of the OG coaches, and like I think players are ready to like, hey, we're done with these guys, man. Like we need. But I'm done with the screamers. Like I'm looking for the Phil Jackson.
He's a former player. He's a former player too. Like, there's some like.
But at this point, almost all of them are former players now, bro. At this point.
We'll see. Yeah.
And you want to know who like I'm surprised that has just been like an assistant for that long? Sam Cassell, man. He's also got the prerequisites to be having a job like Nash has, but somehow doesn't.
Maybe they're not trusting that Doc Rivers head coaching tree.
Protege, yeah, that's another thing, perhaps. But he didn't start with Rivers, did he? I feel like Sam Cassell has been in the game since not before Doc Rivers, obviously. But
I know Tyronn Lue was, but because Tyronn Lue, Doc Rivers was asking Tyronn Lue to like come into his coaching staff. But yeah, man, I think it's time. Do you think that he's gonna finish the season as the Sixers head coach?
Know enough about the Sixers brass to be like, oh yeah, they'll be brash and do something wild, but yeah, I think he'll finish the season. I don't think they're gonna. They have too much aspirations to act on the first week of the NBA.
I feel, man, it's because I saw on his coaching resume that he did go with Orlando 1-10. And I believe that's when he either got fired or got... Because who traded for Doc Rivers?
But Orlando plays for nothing, Albert.
Who traded for Doc Rivers? It was the Clippers, right? Okay, so then so then he got fired after losing that 3-1 lead. He got fired, and I feel... And
Danny Ainge ain't dumb. He's like, well, we're done with this coach anyways. Might as well get something out of him.
Yeah.
Danny Ainge has been still
the trade machine,
anymore, but was just stacking shit for the Celtics, bro. That's why they're good now.
I think Ainge is with the Hawks now. If I'm
Jazz,
it's with the Hawks. Oh, Jazz. Okay, all right. Well, all right, man. Well, we'll see.
That's why he got a big haul for Gobert and Mitchell too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be finishing the season, man. To be honest, I don't see it.
Retirement? Where does he go?
Back to, what was it, ESPN, being an analyst?
Oh man, have we seen that?
I think he was.
I don't want to hear his voice on ESPN, bro. He sounds annoying, and it's just his raspy fucking smoker voice. No,
back to the desk with Scott Van Pelt at night.
I don't remember him on ESPN.
I want to say he was on ABC, man, like broadcasting a little bit. I think he was, but anyways, we'll see if he finishes. I don't think so. And
fuck Philly. We stay saying fuck Philly around here.
I agree. And speaking, I mean, you never know, Carlos. What if secretly he's just trying to get Victor Wembanyama? No, maybe they're tanking, which leads us to our next topic.
It's not good. They're trying to intimidate people not to do that.
Yeah. Brings us to our next topic. The 2023 NBA draft has some franchise-changing prospects in Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson, which leads to the question, how bad are teams looking to tank for them? NBA Commissioner Adam Silver will be looking very closely at the bottom of the barrel teams. Carlos, should the NBA consider regulating and promoting teams like it exists in European soccer?
It sounds great because the competition that we would see as fans would truly be playoff basketball every single night. No rest days. Truly we don't want this, but we'd be seeing a lot of players that are not 100% sucking it up and playing, earning their contracts. But the simple reason why this wouldn't work, and the NBA knows this wouldn't work, and it's just a whitewashed threat, is that the teams that get moved up belong to the team that got knocked out. So like, you're truly hurting nobody. And could you imagine like the Lakers going out and bringing in like the Fort Wayne Ants or whatever the fuck there is, like some trashed in it? No, it's just not gonna work. And then like they don't have the infrastructure to hold like an away team, like whatever arenas those G League teams use are not.
Well, Carlos,
18,000 seats.
Don't you think? Por eso, as punishment, por mamones, like, hey, Lakers or whoever, like, that's your arena now, the G League arena, that's yours. You play in that, and then
flop. It's not good. It's too much. It's too much to do. It can't. It hurts the bottom line. Truthfully, it doesn't help the game grow. In soccer, it works because it gives the tiny franchises, the tiny cities, the no money cities hope, and they'll play with whatever budget they have, kind of like the A's. Like those motherfuckers know that they're not going to be in the playoffs. They're going to fucking be there every time, trying to do it mathematically with Moneyball strategies and, spending a quarter of what the teams that they're facing face. But just for the simple fact of arenas, tickets, just even the floors and logos and partnerships, and the broadcasters are not going to want to go get cameras in these small towns, and it can't be done. And again, it would work if these G League teams did not belong to the NBA franchises. If these G League teams, let me put it to you this way: if these G League teams were owned by like a group of millionaires that just have a ton of money, then it could work. But they're associated with the league, so it just can't happen.
But don't you think, and I agree with you, but let's just play devil's advocate right here.
I'm down.
So, but I feel like, I don't know if I'm grasping your idea correctly, but I feel that como Lakers get knocked out last place or whatever, and their affiliated G League team comes up. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
wouldn't the G League champion come up?
Yes. So
they might not be affiliated though. It might not be.
Let's just say that G League champion is the Austin team or the Rio Grande team. How would they do? How would the Lakers are gonna go play in Rio Grande now? That's what you're telling me? And the Rio Grande team is gonna have the crypto.com arena? No, man.
Yeah, no, like I said, I agree too.
And the Rio Grande team, like, how do you go see your team? The fan base is so tiny. You're going to make them go travel to LA? Like, it's not going to happen.
Then, any ideas of...
even if it were to just the way you first thought, like, LA gets knocked out, LA gets jumped up, but they didn't deserve it. Just like you said, why isn't the G League champion? So there's too many layers to this onion to make it work.
Plus, the other thing as well that I don't think if you have mentioned it or not, but I think that like it's gonna suck for the G League competition-wise, because imagínate one of the starting guards from like the fucking G League, like, oh my god, tonight I have to go guard Curry, or like, oh my god, I have to go guard fucking like they're in the G League for a reason, you know, like they're just gonna be torched and like it's just gonna end up being bad basketball.
They happen to be the best in their tournament or in their competition, but like
But
up
isn't that how
here,
European soccer is too? They're the best in that like minor league or like
yeah, but let me put it to you this way: the ones that do get in, that happens once every 10 years, they stay at 27, 28, 29. The 1 or 2 years that they manage to stay in this in the top league. So like
relevancy.
it's just a fairy tale dream that
Nobody's
holds
won a
for
championship or something.
one time. Leicester City. I know you don't follow soccer like that, but just when you're bored and want to just do any kind of soccer intake, Google Leicester City. They were like 500-1 favorites, and they were very bad in the bottom league. They were almost gonna get moved to another tier down. They survived and held on, and then the next season, they win their thing to get moved up one. They get moved up one, and they were almost to get knocked down right again. They hold on. The next year they win the whole thing, man. They were holding on by a thread the season before. The next year they win it all. Nobody expected that. Insane soccer run.
Yeah.
Leicester City 2014, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, that would have been something.
That,
Imagínate the NBA, ¿cómo era? Ants or
uh,
the Vipers?
yeah, the Austin Spurs or some mamada like no.
NBA champions, imagine. Damn. Wow. Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be very tough, but it would be interesting. I do want to see something where teams aren't going to tank. I mean, they tried doing it with like getting less ping pong balls or like.
But here's what happens if in the soccer world. So like if in this, we'll keep it in the NBA world. The Lakers would stop receiving money from TNT, from ESPN, from all that money. It stops. Like they're gonna live on jersey sales or what? Like ticket sales only.
That would be a
Like,
good way too. I
but
don't
that's how
know.
they do it. That's how they do it in soccer. So like the top-notch teams. Remember a couple of seasons back they were trying to do that Super League team, that Super
Oh
League
yeah,
for
the
soccer,
Superliga.
because those top-notch teams are afraid of that. They're hardly ever in that discussion. But fuck, man, a couple of years of bad luck and you find yourself in that thing, and then once you're out, it's a hard climb back in. And
Bro.
that's why those teams were trying to do that Super League. But soccer is a whole different beast, man. I've always loved soccer because it was something that like I was taken to live in Monterrey and just watching the insanity, the passion. Bro, you would walk in, like I remember like one of my first games, you would get to the soccer stadium and it's just cops on horseback, like just people just an ocean of people just trying to get into the stadium all at once. And then once you do get through the gate, they hand you like an HEB bag full of newspapers just cut up. And I'm like, what the fuck we do with this? He's like, hold on, we'll use it a little bit. They run out, and you just getting showered with newspaper clippings for like 3 minutes. Intense. Soccer's always been super intense, but World Cup is right around the corner.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about that as well in our podcast. And let's gotta move on to our next topic here, Carlos. And again, we're missing our third man of the Morning Fanatic crew, Black Mamba. So I wanted to call this segment the 3-man weave. Looks like we're just gonna do.
You call Miami or Pittsburgh for the Sunday game?
For the Sunday game, Miami.
I think I went Pittsburgh and lost, so you won.
Yes.
Miami just won 16-10. Beat you, Pittsburgh.
Uh,
That's what I get for believing in the Steelers.
Tua's gonna be back or is back.
Yeah, he played. Excuse
Yeah.
me, he did play.
But yeah, I mean, we're missing our third man of our crew. This segment's going to be a 3-man weave. Basically, wanted to give a little bit of time to each of you guys. I know that we only have so much little time, only a couple of topics, and this might give us a little bit more broader span of NBA topics. So, Carlos, we'll give you the floor for a couple of minutes or seconds. What's on your mind for the NBA?
A couple things I've noticed is there's not a ton of margins, man. Like if you're a gambler and you like to put money on these basketball games, I wouldn't do the spread at this just early on in the season quite yet, because first two games of the season, I saw like just down the board, uh, first team won by 3, second team won by 4, third team won by 1, fifth team won by 7. Like hardly any blowouts right now. I think everybody's just barely getting like their wheels under them and not necessarily fine-tuned offenses yet. So for all my gamblers out there, I'd just go money lines right now instead of spreads. But yeah, I'm just I'd rather see close games like this than blowouts because I was at a blowout yesterday, but it was still very fun. Um, but yeah, I'm just noticing kind of close games, man. Warriors Kings by 5, Minnesota Oklahoma by 10,
Look at
Utah New
Cleveland. Look at
Orleans by
Cleveland.
1,
Look at Cleveland real quick, and then
Cleveland
yesterday
Washington
too.
Cleveland Washington by 10, Atlanta Charlotte was a blowout. Portland Lakers by 2, Philadelphia Clippers right now at the half by 20. So I mean, there's very few blowouts, man, and I'm excited to continue hopefully seeing close games. Let's see that other Cleveland one from Saturday or from oh yeah, versus the Bulls. Ooh, that was a blowout.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
not a close one. Blowout. Uh, Pacers Pistons was by 9. Celtics Magic by 6. Raptors Heat by 3. Rockets Bucks was by 20. Thunder Nuggets by 3, 4. Clippers Kings by 3. All the games are close, man. I love it. I know it's only, first couple of games. We're only 4 games in, 3 games in, but this is what it's all about. I'm all in. It's great.
For me, I'm not gonna talk much about money lines or closeness of the games, but I'm gonna use this time to talk about my Cleveland Cavaliers because game 1
Shocker.
immediately, like in the first quarter, DG the PG goes down. They poke his eye, got a laceration. So he's out for the next couple of days. I don't know when he's going to come back. I was already like, oh, man. Like, I've been waiting all season. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland combo. And that just got squandered right away. But, hey, Donovan Mitchell, 37 points in that first game. We lost to the Raptors. But, hey, man, those Raptors, they're
Crappy, right?
they're going to be
tough.
they're going to be there in the playoffs again. And I know last year they were kind of outside. They got in and got like a 5th or 6th seed. I can't remember. But they're going to be in there because of their scrappy defense. They just don't let you run, cut. They just get in front of you. And they gave the Cavaliers a little bit of trouble there. And then yesterday versus the Bulls, the Cavaliers, I mean, Donovan Mitchell, worth every single bit of what we paid for. Imagine game 2, you're already inserted into like, oh, here, Donovan, you have to carry us already. Like, where our guards, Ricky Rubio is still not healthy. Our guard depth is not that well. And he was carrying us, man. He carried us. Our bench is playing really well. Kevin Love, Jetty Osman, like chingos of love in the air yesterday. Bunch of threes. And today we went into overtime. It was a close game, Carlos, so the 10 points maybe it doesn't show how close it was at the end, but they did go into overtime. So my Cavaliers...
To me, a 10-point game is still a close game.
Yeah, I mean, even
In
15 or
this
20.
day and age.
Yeah, so I'm pretty pumped about my Cavs. And we're going to go into our next segment, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Cavaliers, Carlos, but let's move on to our fast break questions. Just a quick answer on some of these. I got 5 questions. First question is, Carlos, how surprised are you in the Jazz's 3-0 start?
I'm not surprised. They got a lot back. They got enough back. Like, they got trades from Minnesota and from Cleveland. So they've got pieces from both camps to come up with solid production. And the Utah Jazz fan base will not tolerate tanking. That's not a team that has ever done that. So I'm not surprised.
I gotta be honest, man. I'm pretty surprised because they lost their 2 All-Stars. It's not like they got all-stars back.
Tell you what, nobody expected this. You're right. But what I'm saying is they didn't get like the short end of the stick on the trades. Like they got talent back. I
Yeah.
feel like they're okay on the roster wise.
I
It's not
feel
full of it's not no notable names, but I think enough it's pieces to keep it to have a team together. And I think that's what the Jazz are
I
right
feel
now.
that bubble's just gonna burst. Just like remember when the Cavaliers, when I was all excited when they were like 3-0, 4-0, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna bust like that. So I am surprised for the 3-0 start. Not a hot start because it's just 3 games, but yeah. I mean, next topic. What are your thoughts on Zion's debut?
They went pretty hard and they knew they were in New York and they knew they had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on the other side. And I'm sure Brandon Ingram heard KD praise him a few days prior. So it's just going to come out with a little chip on your shoulder. Ingram's the younger version of KD. So,
yeah, I was pretty impressed, especially with like, he leaned out, saying that he's in the best shape of his life. So I was pretty.
He had a hard fall a couple minutes ago in today's game.
Oof.
I don't know if you caught it. It was versus the Jazz too.
Yeah, no, I didn't catch that, but I was pretty pumped to see.
Landed on his hip.
I was pretty pumped to see what he was gonna look like, and man, he looked really impressive. He's only played in 86 career games, and that debut was his 47th time scoring 25 points or more on 50% or better shooting. In 86 games, man, he's just a 25-point machine, efficient as fuck.
Yeah, that's what you're going to get from him every time.
And then another thing, Carlos, for him, just like I was hitting you with Westbrook, but except this guy is actually younger. What's Zion's go-to move? Imagine when he gets a go-to move, or when he gets something.
It's a spin move right now, but yeah, once he's a little bit more efficient with it and has it all locked down, it can and it will be scarier.
Yeah. And then what about, did you have any thoughts on Banchero's debut as well? First player since LeBron to score at least 25, 5, and 5.
He's definitely looking impressive, man. Not gonna lie, he's looking really good. And losing efforts because it's the Magic, and nobody else can help him. And he doesn't have like terrible squad either. But I thought Mamba would be better than he's been.
Better than that song that he was hyped up for.
Yeah, he got a whole song. But that's just because the rapper,
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I don't know.
I thought he was impressive as well. I mean, he had his first baptism on Corey Joseph. I don't know if you saw that. He baptized Corey. He's showing everything, man.
When a center dunks on a guard.
Hey, no, it's his first.
Guard.
It's his first. Like he first in the league, his first dunk on somebody. It had to be somebody. So this time it was Corey Joseph. He showed a little bit of everything, man, that I was seeing in the summer league from him. He's got that mid-range game. He's got a post-up game. He's getting to the foul line. He was 5 of 7 in his debut, along with those 27 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Man, he could be the real deal. He's gonna be fun to watch.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on the Magic.
Yeah, we definitely will. And last 2 questions here, Carlos, are yearly predictions. Off the top of your head right now, predictions for MVP.
Luka Doncic.
I'm not surprised. He is the Vegas favorite. When I went in the summer, I was thinking of placing a bet on him, but I was like, I don't know.
He knows it's at his grasp, and I think he's going to chase it.
I'm gonna go with a dark horse, Carlos. I know that I could have easily gone Giannis, Luka. I've been saying that Luka too. Like he might be getting that one there, but maybe it's just I'm coming off a high of just watching the Cavaliers right now. That blowout win yesterday, but if Donovan Mitchell keeps balling like this, he had 37 points in the first game, 32 in the second, 31 in this one.
How many assists?
He puts.
You need more on the rest of the columns.
He's had up there. He had like 8 assists, I believe today it was. I can't remember the other game, but He's being asked to do everything right now. Everything. He's playing defense, two-way player right now. If he can get the Cavaliers into the playoffs, top 4 seed, watch out for that dark horse, man. He's been the guy, man, that I've been missing since LeBron left. That like, man, they're struggling right now. Come on, just get the ball and score. Or like, man, we need a bucket. Like, he's been that guy every time I felt something. You know, when you're watching the game, you're like, we need a bucket. We need something. We need something clutch. We need a bucket, or we just need somebody to stop the bleeding. This man,
to get an all-star, doesn't it?
This man is the real deal. I'm sorry if I shut on him in Utah, but looking at him now, maybe I feel different because he's playing for my team. But he's gonna be a dark horse, man. I don't know. Again, coming off this high of some good victories, I'm gonna go with Donovan Mitchell. NBA champions predictions. I won't shit on you if you don't pick the Mavs. I won't shit on you if you don't pick them.
Too early. I can't. There's no like, no one's looked extra dominant. I just have to like lean on, you know, who I saw at the end last year or who I think is going to do better. I don't know if I can answer that one quite yet. It's too early.
You know, aside from the Cavaliers, I'm gonna go with Boston. I think Boston's gonna come back again.
Told me that
They're gonna come back again, hungry, especially with all this shit that's going on, with their coach, or ex-coach, I guess at this point. I'm gonna go with them. I'm still not sure in the Western Conference, man. You know, the Nuggets look pretty decent. And they beat the Warriors.
The Clippers are the favorite, right?
I think so, the Clippers. But, man, you know, I just don't trust the Clippers.
Nobody can do that. No sane basketball mind can truly be like, oh, yeah.
But look, man, when there's a bunch of ifs on a team, like, you can't really be too confident. If Kawhi is healthy, if his knee is going to recover, if Paul George stays healthy, if playoff P doesn't show up in the playoffs, if John Wall can like mix. He looked good, by the way, though.
Man, yeah, John Wall's looking good. Shout out John Wall.
But like, their depth is good.
Many ifs.
But they're also a little old, man. They're also a little old there. Kawhi's knees are like fucking 70. Paul George, he could get injured, but you just can't trust him, man. I don't know. I don't believe in him. I was high on the Mavs last year. Maybe you were just hanging out too much with you, man. Talking to you too much. That I felt that energy.
I think we're better this year with Christian Wood.
I was about to ask. Yeah, that's true. That Woods guy was
just as advertised, man. I think he's my pick for 6-man.
If
we're gonna continue down this 6-man, I think he's eventually gonna make his way to the starting lineup. But if he doesn't, he's my pick for 6-man.
Kevin Love came out firing, man. So Kevin Love got with runner-up last year. So if he continues the way,
nice.
Yeah, if he continues the way he was going.
What about most improved?
Kevin Love, most improved. I don't know. It's just, I don't know who. I guess we're not plugged in as much to be like, oh, this guy's like has been improving in camp.
I got one.
Who?
Roy Hachimura from the Wizards.
Hachimura, you know, he was playing. I watched him today.
I think him and Beal are gonna be a good little duo to look out for. I think he's going to improve. Hachimura reminds me, not exactly, but like the trajectory similar to Pascal Siakam. Like, oh shit, where did this guy come from? And he's just getting better, taking more responsibility, getting another move, taking more, a bigger role, guarding the best player.
So even though he's not starting, you're gonna pick him?
He's not a starter?
I'm
still gonna go with him right now.
Go with him?
Doesn't have to be a starter.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't know who to pick on that.
I think he might end up on the starting lineup at some point. Washington don't have that much.
I thought they were gonna start him eventually when they drafted him, but they've got this. They've got Kuzma, but he's more of a power forward. I don't know who the fuck is that Avdija or whatever that he was starting today versus the Cavs.
I haven't seen Washington's lineup, but
the guy went 1 for 6.
I saw a condensed game of the Wizards and liked what I saw. I liked what I saw last year. That's why I assumed he was a starter, but fuck, well, shows how much I was actually watching.
Yeah, no, I mean I would have thought as well that he would have started. I don't know why he hasn't started. They have a new coach. I can't remember his name.
As a Kuzma, probably. You answered. Yeah, it's almost undoubtedly Kuzma's contract and how much he's getting paid. Justification kind of thing. Yeah. But I like that Hachimura guy.
That's all the questions that I had today, Carlos. So this brings us to the end of our show. Excited. Can't wait. Just another week of basketball. See where we're at. See who's still at the top of those rankings or those standings. See who's for real. See who's not.
What you got going up next weekend, bro?
Oh, yeah. We have the Dallas Cowboys playing the Bears. I'm going to be in Dallas with Carlos. We'll have some content for you guys. We'll get some stuff. We'll get some vlogging for sure. I'm pumped, man. I'm excited for the game.
Can't wait. Interview some Cowboys fans, have some morning brews, and go chat it up with some Cowboys fans, Cowboy Nations. We'll see you at AT&T Stadium bright and early next Sunday for the Bears.
I'm excited, man. I haven't been to a Cowboys game in like 11 years now. I can't believe I've been out of that stadium ever since we went to that first game.
The last one was the one you and I went to?
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow. I thought you had made it to another one since. Holy fuck.
I haven't made it to another one, and I've been due a game. I've been just going plus basically NBA games here, man. Just easier access, and yeah, I'm excited. We'll have some stuff. We'll have a live podcast potentially. If not, we'll record it.
I'm not even sure how I've been able to pull off an NFL game every year since I've moved out here too, but I've been lucky and blessed to be able to go to a Cowboys game every year. Yeah, if you're here, you gotta find a way. Yeah, because like we used to make trips to make this happen. Now it's 30 minutes away, bro. What's my excuse now?
Exactly. So yeah, pretty pumped about that. Make sure to catch us next week. We should have that video up, hopefully. I mean, it is Sunday actually, so sometime throughout next week we'll have that footage ready for you guys. You could see what happened.
Content separate.
Yeah,
and organized.
Yeah, we'll get it all organized. We'll get it ready for you guys. And we'll see you, man. Catch us on our NFL version of the Morning Fanatic podcast also next week. We'll talk some football. And we'll catch you all in the next one. Morning Fanatic, Filthy Texican. We're out.
NBA champs.